Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Independent is Power. Part of my voice that we spent so much time talking over the last couple of weeks during our petition signatures that kind of lost my voice. Kind of driving me up a wall. A lot of things to talk about today. When we did our petition signatures, we needed to get 1,000 signatures in that 2 week period ending on the 31st of May. Fortunately, we missed it by about 100 signatures. What does that mean? That means I was not able to file as an independent for Congress in Minnesota's 7th District. That said, the Legal Marijuana Now Party has automatic ballot access, meaning that they are a major party in Minnesota. They do not have to petition for ballot access. They get a slot. Since our legalized marijuana plank fit into their mission statement of legalizing marijuana now, they were gracious enough to ask, "Hey, do you want to run under our name, under our slot?" Considering I didn't have any problems with supporting their statewide candidates, which is a requirement by the state if you're going to run under a party, we accepted their offer. It puts us on the ballot. It puts us in the game. There are pluses and minuses to this. One of the minuses is, for a long time, this was seen as a stoner protest vote or party. So a lot of people don't take it seriously. From what I could tell, they've had very few candidates running under this party who are actually active and chasing the vote. So we have to overcome that mentality of that process, that this is not a real party or not a real option. That's going to be an uphill battle. We're going to have to do a lot of educating. The other thing is, people look at that party and they think that's the only plank they care about. So we're going to have to go out there and we're going to have to educate people and say, you know what? No, that is just one plank. Look at me as the candidate. On the plus side, last election in this district, between the two cannabis parties, they took roughly 6 to 7% of the vote, 23,000 people. It only takes about 175,000 to win in a two-party race. In a three-party race, I mean, basically, we need to go from 7% to 40%. That means basically all we have to do to win is go out there and convince 1 out of every 3 voters that we're the party to choose, that we're the person to choose. That's very doable. This is something I sat down and talked to my advisors and my team with before we decided to go this route. Because I've always said, if I don't see a path to win, I'm not going to run. I'm not going to waste my time. I'm not going to ask you to waste your time and your money supporting me. So this is something we took seriously. We sat down and looked, and I went back and forth. I had to call in some experts. I had to talk to some people and go, hey, the people who were helping me with my public relations, going, hey, can we package this in a way that people understand that this is the same Bull Johnson independent that we were talking about before? One of the other advantages with this party is, as a party, they are a one-issue party. They only care about the marijuana plank. That gives us the freedom to do and believe and act on the other planks as we see fit, which basically means, as far as how I would legislate, as far as how I would be expected to act in Congress, nothing's changed. I'm still basically an independent who's only answerable to you, the people. And that was something that I could live with, which was something that was very important to me. So as you see, we've had some changes. We have some more challenges to face, but we're very much still in the game. Now, why didn't we meet our goal? I mean, it boils down to, this was my first time running a campaign, and I made some strategic errors. I made some bad decisions that did not put my team in a position to win. Uh, Whenever there's a failure, I mean, the blame for that always goes at the top, and I was at the top. Um, I hadn't brought on a campaign manager at that time, and I was doing a lot. I was spending 2 to 3 hours a day doing management stuff where I should have been knocking on doors. I wanted so much to show the district that I will represent the entire district. I spent way too much time traveling and still missed the whole southern half of the district. Over that 2 week period, we covered 3,500 miles. To give you an idea how much running around we did. That's a lot of drive time that I could have been knocking on doors, asking for signatures. Which guess what? That would have very easily made that difference. Combined with the factors which we don't have under our control, a lot of the farmers being out in the field planting right now, the Memorial Day weekend. I mean, we just weren't able to overcome that with my mistake in some of my decisions. We live and we learn. Pardon the Army expression, we do an after action report, a hot wash, what went right, what went wrong, and we learn from it. And one thing we learned is that, you know what? We're getting to the point I can't do this by myself. So we do expect to bring on a campaign manager over the next week to 10 days. Some other people have come to the realization too that, hey, we need Bull Johnson in this race. We want to take back our district from the elites in DC and St. Paul who decide who our candidates are going to be. These people have decided I am the best option to send that message loud and clear. And we'll actually be meeting with quite a few of them over the next week to 10 days to come up with our plan forward, as well as a plan to help us make that next financial step. From what I can figure, we're going to need roughly $75,000 between now and election day to have a legitimate shot at this. Over the last couple of weeks, we've pretty much emptied the kitty. We spent everything we had on trying to get these petitions because this was a big issue for us. Not making the petitions has, at least temporarily, cost us a huge endorsement we were counting on. That would have made us, I think, immediate contenders. Now we have to show that person that we do have a viable path, that we are still in the game. At the end of the day, that's what counted for June 1st. Were we still in the game? And yes, we are. If you're in the game, you can win. You can't win if you're not in the game. So that's where we stand with that right now. Pardon me while I'm drinking, because with this hoarseness, it's a little hard to go forward. So that's where we are. We're gonna keep trucking. Again, we still have a great chance. I mean, it's hard to overemphasize what starting off at 6 or 7% means. As an independent, we had to earn every 40%. There was no gift me's. To a certain extent, running as marijuana now, we have that gimme for a lot of the voters who say, you know what, this is the only subject I'm concerned about. This is the one I'm going to vote for. One of the things I shared last week, during my petition drive, there were 3 big questions that came up. The first one by far was, where do I stand on the Second Amendment? That's probably even more of an issue now after the school shooting in Uvalde. My opinion on the Second Amendment hasn't changed. The Second Amendment is absolute. Evil people will do evil things. If it's not with a gun, it'll be with a bomb. It'll be with poison. I mean, Cain killed Abel with a rock. I mean, people who want to kill will kill. I think we need to spend a lot of our focus back on helping kids and helping people understand the value of life. I think that's where our answer is going to be, not the taking away law-abiding citizens to own guns. I mean, truth is that shooter was in there for an hour. What kind of gun he had didn't matter. you give somebody like that an hour without being challenged, they're going to kill a lot of people. And unfortunately, that's what happened. The second most popular question that asked me was, where was my stance on legalization of marijuana? At which point I said, hey, you know what? I am for legalization and decriminalization. Overwhelmingly, that was the question people were looking for. This is no longer a partisan issue. I mean, I said the story a few weeks ago how some of the older farmers I was talking to were talking about how great CBD gummies are. Farmers are looking for an option for another cash crop. I mean, this does not have the stigma that it did to the last generation. In fact, quite the opposite. People have a much more progressive view on this right now, and they think we need to go forward with it. And to a certain extent, the other parties are dragging their feet on it. So this gives us a huge potential. The third question I was asked was red or blue. And my answer to that was neither. I'm black and gold. I'm my own colors. It's like we're our own man, our own way forward. So that's kind of where we stand right now, where we're going with this campaign. I'd like to see if anybody has any questions right now. If you do, just send them in. It'll pop up on our screen here. If not, I'm going to hit you with my plea to help. Hey, please, guys. As I said, we blew our kitty pretty much on the last couple of weeks of campaigning. We still got a long way to go. It's a huge district. Gas is over $4.30, $4.40 a gallon right now. Just driving to the places that I need to be in this district costs a lot of money. One of the big hits to me this week was I hadn't been down in an area further south. I hadn't really been in Marshall. I hadn't really been in Little Falls, in Red Lake Falls. There was a lot of areas I had not hit. Wilmer. And part of the reason we didn't do that over these last 2 weeks, honestly, is when second week when we were planning on going there, we were planning to go to Pipestone County. We're planning on going to McLeod County. We sat down and figured that's 8 to 9 hours a day of driving. And at that point of the drive, that was just something we couldn't afford to do. But I do want to get out there over these next couple of weeks. One question that just came in on where do I stand on abortion? I mean, everybody knows abortion is a hot button issue, and a lot of people like to dance around it. My view is fairly simple. I am pro-life. I do not believe the Constitution of the United States gives the authority to the federal government to make it legal or illegal. I think that's delegated down to the states by the 10th Amendment. What that means is I don't think the federal government has a role to play on saying yes, it's legal or no, it's illegal. Meaning that when I'm in Congress, I will not vote to codify into law. I will also not vote to make it illegal because I think that would be a gross overstep of the federal government. I will, however, prevent any federal funds from being used for it or to advance it. I think this is a state issue. And I think it's best left up to the states. This is one of those answers that probably won't please anybody. Everybody wants to know yes or no. But in my mind, on the federal level, the Constitution just doesn't give us that authority. And first and foremost, I consider myself a constitutional conservative. Thank you very much for that question, Don. I know it's on the mind of a lot of people down in Otter Tail County. I do appreciate all the support I've been getting from down there. And if anybody else has a question, please feel free to shoot forward with it. Back where I was is for this campaign to move forward, guys, we're gonna need some funding. We're gonna need some help on the financial end. I am meeting next week with a bunch of people who are looking at financially backing our campaign in a, how do I put it, substantial way. But we still need to prime the pump. We still need to get to that point. We need the money to bring on this campaign manager we're looking at. It costs money to do campaigns. I mean, that's unfortunately one of the things that the two-party system uses to keep independents and third parties out, is we don't have the deep pockets that they do. They got millions of dollars in the bank to spend on these things. And in a lot of cases, they try to outspend us. I don't think they will in this district, simply because the Democrats don't think they have a chance in this district, and the Republicans think it's a safe district. They want to flip the purple districts. That's where their attention is going to be going. That's where their money's going to be going. But we still need to bring in enough to stay in the game. So please go to bulljohnsonforcongress.us, go to the contribute tab, and please help us along. Y'all have been great supporting us so far. But unfortunately, I mean, this is a long race. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So we could definitely use any help y'all can send us in that way. Over the next 2 weeks, my hope is to go back and hit a few more areas in the South, as well as hit a few more areas further up north that I haven't hit yet. What I need from you guys, if y'all want me in your area, send me an invite. Say, hey, dude, come on down here. Come talk to us. Help me find a place to meet people. That's one of the big things holding me right back right now is I don't have the manpower to do the homework to find a place to go speak in a lot of these areas. We need to find areas that will say, yeah, come on in, talk to us, coffee shop, anything, just some place where we could sit down and we could talk. We can let people get to know us, know me, and I can kind of get to know y'all better as far as what challenges are in your part of the district. As such a huge district, I mean, we have a diverse issue of concerns. Of course, one of the main issues that have shown up is the fact that we don't feel like we have a voice, even in choosing our own candidates and our own leaders. These decisions are being made far too often in the cities or in Washington, D.C. And that's not right. I mean, this is something that we need to take a stand on. And that's what a group that I'm meeting with is. That's their principle. They don't even care as much as party as the fact that we need people who are going to represent the issues facing greater Minnesota. We need people who understand greater Minnesota. And a lot of these guys think on the level for Congress, I am that person. So I do very much appreciate all of your support. It does not look like we've gotten much more as far as any questions going on. Trying to think what other big issue has been or big question has been coming up. We already talked about gun rights. We've talked a little bit about abortion. We always talk about spending. That was a question that came up earlier on. That followed up on the abortion question is, where do I stand on funding Planned Parenthood? To me, again, it's an easy decision. There's nothing in the Constitution giving Congress the authority to spend money on stuff like Planned Parenthood. When you send your money for federal taxes, it needs to go to support things that are covered in the Constitution, like our roads, our national defense. That's where we should be focusing a lot of this attention and a lot of our funds. I mean, we should be leaving less funds in federal hands and more funds in state hands, because locally y'all know what's better for y'all than the federal government does. One size never fits all. Comment I made to somebody the other day, they're asking, why don't you want the federal government doing all this? Well, the federal government screws things up. Government as a whole screws things up. I'd like to limit the scale of those screw ups. I mean, I'd rather screw ups be done on a state level rather than on a national level. And then the states can look at other states and go, hey, what's working for them? If we have 50 different ways we're trying to do this, we're more likely to find the best, most efficient one compared to federal wise doing it one way. Well, that don't work. Let's try it for 30 years. Then, well, we've invested so much time in this. Let's try to just continue to make this work instead of trying something else. That's the stage that we're at. And it's not working for us. So let's put the power back in the hands where it should be, in the lowest level possible. which in mine is as much as possible is the individual. That's why we say that independent is power. We need to make our own choices on what's best for us. But well, guys, we've been on here about 20 minutes so far. I don't have any other questions coming in. So I do want to thank y'all all for joining me today. Continue to shoot me your questions offline if you want to. Please, again, consider helping us financially. Please consider inviting me into your areas. Let me know where I'm wanted. Help me set things up. Help be my eyes and boots on the ground. And by all means, remember, independent is power. Thank you very much. Have a great day, everybody.